Well, hello there everyone. Here, show you right here is you see the word supported is basically that knowing about what you call it, you can maybe look at it as like the opposite, from like let's say the word supported and the word non-supported it is, and knowing about that, I did this, which causes this thinking about is like say on average, it's like if we're talking about a word so far as is that the supported software in a program and a non-supported program it was. But basically, that I was working on copying some videos that I had taken earlier in the year, like to a DVD disc it was, and usually that they take like what you call is like a CDR disc it is, CDRs, and then of course DVDRs. DVD plus R's it is, and then the RW disc it is. But basically that you have right here is the type of CD that you would need, and then of course to write drive, say the CD writing burner it is, just to be able to copy any file format onto a CD it is. And anybody may be thinking about that half the time that I've talked to a few people that that's like what talking about with whatever anything that's related to a computer, anything like that, PDF file, that I don't know what you're talking about because I don't bother with it. At the time, it seems like anybody may be thinking about if it's a JPG type file it is. It's like that they would more likely only use it maybe when they can, when they are given a CD and they said all you had to do is just pop it into a PlayStation 3 or a Blu-ray player or anything like that, and it should play. And just a few work of the controls it is. A few work of the controls. Some people will probably think about that they don't bother with about knowing about the type of technology. Of course, it's used, of course, just for them to be able to see what they see it is, for what it does. And knowing about with that supported is basically that I got some video clips, of course, that were taken on like what you say another device it is, and this other device is also known as a digital camera of mine. It's like it's also known as like what you say an HP it is, and a lot of times plus with the memory card too, with the memory card. But anyway, a lot of us will maybe think about like that with supported that a lot of times that if you were to try to copy a video clip or a movie onto, if it's going to be about maybe about 128 megabyte, maybe about 300 or 400 megabytes to 1 gigabyte, or maybe 2 gigabytes of memory. It is on average about 4 gigabytes is about how much average most CDs hold, unless if you were to think about maybe getting like maybe SkyDrive or something like that on say Microsoft. But other than that, if you're talking about a memory card here, the memory card, which if most of us have known this before, that this will be the switch will be usually be located on the side. That there will be a switch right here to where it would lock it to where that if you didn't want any data saved on the memory card, it was use the memory card right here. But I don't think this memory stick right here, for an example, I don't think has it to where that you would be able to lock it. I think that there may be a way that maybe you can lock it, say on the bottom it is, and which I'm thinking that it don't look like there's a way. It looks like that there's a spot right here for where you can put like what you say a wrist strap, but this right here is a memory stick, and basically it's an 8 gigabyte memory stick. On average, it probably holds about maybe 800 pictures, something like that. I would say at least maybe 1,000 pictures. It is if you would have it like saved to like what you call is like a type of a file and say media format it is. And anybody who uses like what you call is like digital technology would know about exactly what I'm talking about. But anyway, but basically about talking about with the non-supported, between supported and non-supported, what does it usually mean when between something if it's supported or if it's not supported is. And I keep thinking about that maybe it has something to do with that like what's the type of software. Of course, it's like so fast, like if it's able to read it, it's like we say right here with my reading glasses of knowing about that it's basically that I can go ahead and draw like say like a circle and then of course a square. It is a program that's installed on your computer, and basically I think that's really what it is. A software or a program that's installed on your computer, but then if you open it up with another program, then more likely you're going to maybe have some problems. And a lot of times, and anybody may be thinking about that, that if you were to just say install the software to like what you call like the hard drive, it is, if you were to onto your computer and install the malware onto your computer, it is, of course, it would be like, say, a license agreement a lot of times. But knowing about if you were to like if it was Play Memories, or if it was like any type of Sony products, or if it was HP products, or if it was Hapakashi or something like that, or if it was a Natashi or Tenzu or something like that, that more likely that you would have a program that you would be able to open up, and then if you want to copy something like a video, it was, or transfer any media from a memory card to like what you call like a file on the computer, and it would be able to play it back, and then knowing about that, it may give you problems at times too, of knowing about that if it was a malware problem, whichever it was, that non-supported file. A lot of times, and I noticed that anything that you may take, like using another program, if you were to transfer it to like what you call like an e-reader, kind of like this, for you with the touch screen, it is that a lot of times that it would come to that situation to where it would say that not supported. And between supported and not supported, and a lot of times I begin to wonder, what's the difference? It's like, what's this all about? And I'm guessing that more likely that the program, of course, that's required, the software program that's required to run this application, a lot of times I guess it's a file. It's malware. It's software that's on the file that apparently that the device does not recognize. And more likely that anybody maybe think about that you would kind of use this right here as like, say, example of, say, use the blue, but if you have like here is like an icon, and of course if this would represent a program or a software that more likely the device does not have the right reader for it. It could be software that this other program may not have the right reader for it, and of course it does not recognize that file type. And anybody maybe think about if you would think that almost every camera or camcorder, any type of e-reading camera built into an e-reader, something like that, iPhone 5 would all work the same. But on the other hand, that anybody think that anybody may be thinking about that to try to make it harder on anybody who tries to do something, and knowing about that if you're trying to do any copying, or if it's transferring or sharing or playing, you say having that available on like what you call like maybe the Tango Tech or something like that, the Tango Tech smartphone it is, and knowing about the things that more likely that you try to play it back, maybe like on a little mobile device, and then the next thing you know, it's telling you that it's not supported. And I'm sure it aggravates almost everybody of knowing about if it says is not supported. But you say that use like which say a variety of colors right here. It's like you guys see the red, and of course it's like the purple. It is with the purple, and then with the purple, it's like give it like shapes, draw a few shapes and designs, of course, and here it is. But knowing about that, if it is supported, then more likely that there's programs, of course, that's on that file that more likely it would be able to work. It recognizes, and of course the software, especially like on a memory card, that if you were to buy a memory card that's like what you call it's like an SD memory card, but then a program, on the program, or it could be the type of design that's on that memory card, to where it's saying that it's not supported, or it is supported, and it's able to transfer it. But then if you were to transfer any data from like the memory card to your computer, and then that maybe transfer it to another online page, such as if anybody's familiar with like maybe SkyDrive, or if it's anything related to another online site, such as by Google Drive, but knowing about that a type of program that more likely that you'll be trying to use it is, and a lot of ways that at the time that knowing about that, I guess if it has anything to do with like what you calls like if it's the words non-readable, it cannot recall. It can't recall the program that this device is asking for. Apparently that if you were to try to open up this file using this program, or try to burn it to a CD, try to copy it to a CD, then a lot of times it may not recognize it. And a lot of times if it is supported, that means that more likely that you have that it's recognized, and then the program that same program that's used for, like you say, the Toshiba, it is to be able to continue with the copying, as long as you have the most recent updated parts, updated files, of course, for like you say the tools, and of course with the flash player it is, but the basic requirements for what you need it is. But anyway, working right here, so you would say the purple and then the brown, but a lot of times anybody may be thinking about if you were to be buying something such as a memory card, it is, and then the next thing you know, it's like that, and then after you take a few pictures, it is, and knowing about that it's not copying, it's not, apparently it's not, it don't recognize the device that you're using. Of course, if you plug it into a USB port socket, it is that more likely it's going to tell you that it's not recognized. It's not recognizing the device that's plugged into the LSD slot, it is. And with most memory cards, though, that like with most computers, with most PCs, that it would be able to recognize them. And but like with other cameras, if you're using another type of camera, it is that more likely it's going to tell you that it's not supported, so you can't use this device. And I'm thinking that anybody may be thinking about, like, if most of us have had our experience buying a flash drive, it is a flash memory drive, it is that if you were to save any data on there, and then maybe plug it into a digital picture frame or somewhere, maybe if you want to plug it into, say, to your iPhone 5, your smart tablet, it is, and try to play whatever video format on there, and then it tells you that more likely that if it's an HD, like with anybody, probably think about about almost anything in HD, that more likely it's going to say that either it'll still play, but then on your hand too, it's going to be the quality. I guess a lot of times it's the quality that's going to be very low, compared to like what you say is the HD format it is. But on the other hand, that I don't know if it's really a thing that I'm really ever going to understand, but knowing about maybe the basics about is like that besides memory cards, if it's anything to do with maybe maybe online stuff, if it's doing some work on a job or something like that, saving something on Microsoft Word, or if it could be something related to work, it is that a lot of times that I need to have access to, of course, to my pages. It is a lot of times it says on there that according to Windows, this device is, this program that for support on this page is not supported, with whatever device that you're using. It's like the page is not supported, and a lot of times it's like that. Some people even said that like to say the technicians said that for the tech supporters that they would say that you may have to uninstall, of course, that there's like other search engines such as Internet Explorer. For the search engines, there's probably maybe about 11 of them altogether, but I'm only familiar with would say 3 of them. I think SMN or something like that. SMS, and then of course Internet Explorer. Internet Explorer. And of course there's Google Chrome. It is, you guys say the Google, so Google search tab it is, but kind of looks like this right here, Google tab. But on the other hand, if you were to do like say a search engine, and then the next thing you know, it's like that if there's a program, of course, that the device that you're using that's required, just to run this, to be able to copy whatever file, whatever program it is. And basically, what does it usually mean whenever it says not supported? And a lot of people probably think about it, it's like, get pretty aggravated about it, which means basically that the file, I guess, doesn't mean that the file not recognized. Does it mean your file not recognized, or does it mean that the fact about that it's too large? Some people may think about that maybe that the file it's too large. That the file that you're trying to copy to a CD is too large, or the space is maximum. The space of maximum. So I guess I can maybe do my homework all day, do my studies, of course, about what the problem is. It's like too large space of active, or it could be something related to that an update. So not the right update for like what you call like for the flash memory, say drive it is flash player, the memory date for the player, and of course with the copier it is for the copier, and like for copies and your copier. But anyway, for a number of copies that you want to get, and but from my experience, I can tell anybody here from my experience, from what I learned, of course, about copying any format it is, onto a CD it is, of knowing about between supported and not supported it is, basically says that yeah, if you, I guess it all depends on the type of CD that you get. And anybody maybe think about, a lot of times I usually use, it's like what you call, it's like the CDR, the Sony CDR, and of course there's like the Mexil as it is. Usually, like you say, like they say the Mexil, and a lot of times they say comes with a warranty, about 1 year warranty, that knowing about when you buy this product, and of course it's used for copying such and such data, if it's music or other type of file formats it is. And basically what they say is that if there's one error, then more likely that you can't go back and correct the mistakes, because it says that for read only, and a lot of times what does they mean for read only, which means that yep, you cannot erase for what's on the CD. And anybody probably think about, I guess, is it considered scrap? If there's any type of technical failure that goes on, and anybody think about, more likely, yeah, but you can maybe also recycle it too, But basically, that between supported and non-supported, use like what you call like a variety of colors. Right here is, you got right here is the blue, and then right here, and then you got right here is the red, and of course is with the green. And a lot of times, anybody maybe think about that, yeah, that if they're trying to open up something and they said that it won't play because it's not supported, or maybe a connection error or something like that. But on the other hand too, it's like talking about is like the type of program, that the type of device that you're using. It's basically what it basically means is that it's not recognizing the device, and then since it cannot read for what the file is, and of course even if it can read what's on the device, and knowing about the type of malware, is like the programs, of course, that the type of requirements that it needs just to run. It's like with anybody, think about it, it's like for the requirements. And I'm thinking that more likely that's basically what it means, is that the requirements to perform this installation or this copying it is that you don't have all the right files, you don't have all the right programs, you don't have the right drivers, of course, just to proceed with this this exercise, this job it is. But Alright, and that is talking about between supported and not supported, and doing our studies, of course, about the math, about how much it is, of course, for whatever software and middleware that you need, just to perform. But alright, and that I do our calculations, as I talk about, it's like 5. If it's 5 cents a piece, like 5 times 5, it is for 25, and of course 5 more, it's like for 5 it is. Multiply, do that say subtraction, for 5% of like how many CDs do you think that you need, of course, to perform this, or maybe if it's memory cards it is. But alright, and that plug it into, say, to any device, such as a memory card, like we say was the card locked, or just knowing about that, they'll ask you a lot of times if you want to go ahead and clear for whatever media files, of course, that are on the device it is. But talking about there is for supported, not supported. So far as you're talking about, it's like for the word supported, color activity.